City had beaten Barnet, Fulham and West Country rivals Swindon Town to earn the right to entertain Chelsea in round 4 of the 1990 FA Cup. Having hit the top of Division 3 the week before, City went into the match firmly believing they could supply the shock of the round. Manager Joe Jordan selected the same side that had defeated Swindon 2-1 in the previous round. That meant up-front Bob Taylor and Robbie Turner had the opportunity to add to their tally of 22 goals they'd already scored.
Here at home today. And Besant will have to come out of his area. Oh, he didn't find touch. Dorigo shows a little bit of skill and gives it away. Hooked in by Gavin to Turner. Away by Clark. Shelton. Llewellyn. Bristol City keeping possession. Hit from a long way and it's worth doing. Oh, they've missed it. They've all missed it. And it's in. 4 minutes. Robbie Turner. What a beginning for 3rd Division Bristol. But what a mistake by Dave Besant. Well, it's a long way, isn't it? But it's always worth it in these sticky conditions. Besant had it, and then he didn't. Taylor was almost in. McAllister. And Dorigo well forward again. Tries to find Dixon. There's Smith. Dispossessed by the Chelsea centre forward. And he was screaming at Clark. Oh, well taken. Can he keep it in play? We haven't seen too much of Bob Taylor. Bristol City's leading marksman with 17 goals, and incidentally the only man left in the competition who scored in every round. Smith, Johnson, there might be something on here for City. Taylor, Shelton, oh, they're queuing up. Turner, is it number 2? Yes, the referee looks at the linesman. Chelsea look at everybody. Chelsea have contrived to commit suicide. Bristol City lead by 2-0, both scored by Robbie Turner. And what a catalogue of mistakes. They were queuing up Bristol City to score that. Roberts misses the tackle. Smith uses his pace. Johnson comes across to cover, but he hooks it around the Norwegian international. Taylor lays it back to Shelton. Shelton thought about having a go and then picked out Turner. It's easy. It actually hits the post and hasn't gone in until Turner confirms it. They're all looking at the linesman on the near side, but it's 2-0. 56 minutes gone. Newman. Bumstead picks up that. McAllister. Oh yes, Wilson. Kevin Wilson pulls a goal back for Chelsea with 7 minutes left and has resurrected the ball and sprinted back to the halfway line, and no wonder that Chelsea want to get on with it. Kevin Wilson's 16th goal of the season. He now equals Kerry Dixon as the top Chelsea marksman with 16. And that was a goal fashioned out of nothing. McAllister's cross in. Wilson had got away from the markers for the first time in the match. A header to beat Sinclair. Whistling, telling the referee. Oh, and that's a bit of sloppy play to give away a throw-in when you're looking for the equaliser. And there's only 120 seconds left. Oh, I wonder how strict he'll be on his timekeeping in the second half, David Phillips. He added almost 3 minutes on to the first half because of stoppages. There've been 1 or 2 in the second half. And Chelsea penalised, Bristol City with a free kick. Bailey. Turner. Turner, is this his hat-trick? He struck it well. This will be it. Gavin. It's the last minute of the match. And Mark Gavin has made it 3-1 to third division Bristol City. And Chelsea are extinguished. Bailey's free kick, who did he find? Well, Robbie Turner. He's put a few pounds on his valuation today, hasn't he? He's had a stormer.
Despite the magnificent victory over Chelsea, City themselves became victims of giant killing when 4th Division Cambridge United beat them 5-1 at the Abbey Stadium after the two sides had drawn 2 previous games.
It's a famous giant killing.
Wimbledon provided City with their third-round opponents for the 1992 FA Cup. Winners of the competition just 4 years earlier, the South London side was sure to prove stiff opposition. And it was the visitors who took the lead midway through the first half. John Fashion, who somehow managed to squeeze his shot beyond City keeper Andy Leaney. It was a mistake by Dave Rennie, which allowed the experienced striker to score his 6th goal of the season. In a game of few chances, it looked as if time had run out for City when Mark Gavin swung over a corner. Hans Sager's clearance was swiftly returned into the penalty area by Mark Hazelwood, and it was Warren Barton, under pressure from Bob Taylor, who planted the ball into the back of his own net. An amazing escape for City, and an equaliser coming from an unexpected source. In what turned out to be his last game at Ashton Gate for Bristol City, Bob Taylor was originally credited with the goal, but quite clearly it was Warren Barton with the final touch. A 10th minute strike by Andy May was enough to see off Wimbledon in the replay at Selhurst Park. In doing so, it meant that City had won away against First Division opponents in the FA Cup for the first time since the famous victory at Ellen Road against Leeds United 18 years previously. The sale of Bob Taylor to West Bromwich Albion had forced Jimmy Lumsden into the transfer market. Taylor's replacement was Jackie Jakanowski. The 29-year-old Pole was brought from Celtic for £250,000. The 4th round tie at Leicester City was only his 2nd game for the club.
Well, Leicester in Brian Little's first season are 3 points behind leaders Blackburn in Division 2 and 1 step from Wembley in the ZDS Cup. Today they're unchanged. Ali Moughlan still injured, Colin Gordon suspended, and the attack includes the England under-21 man Paul Kitson at number 11. Bristol City welcome back Andy Llewellyn at right back, so Russell Osman, who spent 3 years here at Filbert Street with Leicester, is back in the centre of defence. And in attack, number 7 Junior Bent has a sharp turn of pace on the right flank. Referee Paul Vaines from Worley in the West Midlands had a very difficult decision to make first thing this morning, but the weather since seems to bear him out. The pitch has eased slightly, and they were even talking about getting a small stud in, certainly some of the players electing to play in the moulded studs. So Bristol City, all in red, start this all 2nd division 4th round tie. Playing from the right, they get the first free kick. Jakanowski was the player who was fouled. And it's forward by Andy May. Junior Bent, number 2 Llewellyn, May. And there goes Bent again. It's a good first attack by Bristol City, this, and Nicky Morgan on the end of it. Leicester, blue and white, with the home crowd behind them. Good ball forward too. Number 11, Kitson. Crowd of around 20,000 expected here. That was the figure more or less for the Crystal Palace game in round 3. Oh, and here's Bent. Leicester losing their way again there slightly, and it's still Junior Bent. And the header out was by Richard Smith. They've got problems on that side, Leicester, at the moment. May, and it's bent again. Well, he is one of the quickest players in the second division. This lad who used to be with Huddersfield Town. Good header by Bryant. And this might fall for Oldfield. The teams met here in a league game at the start of the season. Leicester won 2-1, but by all accounts, Bristol played very well that day. Here's May. Osman. Jakunovski. And by May to Bent. That's going to be quite a tussle, Bent and Reed. It's developed nicely in the opening stages here. Jakunovski, May, Jakunovski going again. Oh, neat play by the pole. And he's turned them. He's got Morgan far post here. Sweet skill there by the experienced Polish international, who's becoming, wasn't quite able to find Morgan on the far post, but Jakunovski becoming a bit of a favourite already with the City supporters from Bristol. And it was by Bryant, then Fitzpatrick for Leicester. Now that's where it's going to be difficult. Players can't change direction very quickly on this surface, if at all. Got to have it in front of them, preferably. The forwards. Kitson finds Willis. This is Gary Mills in the attack. Oh, well plucked out by Andy Leaning. That was good football. Gary Mills on the overlap, and the goalkeeper coming off his line to take it. Llewellyn. This is Fitzpatrick, and this is a good break by Leicester. 4 against 4. Oldfield. Trying to spread it through. Kitson! The best moment of the match so far. And the Bristol City defence are relieved. The rain is coming down, which is going to change the surface conditions, I would think. But here's Paul Kitson getting his shot in from just inside the area. Close. Bryant. That was Walsh just watching Bent. Oh, Bristol have given that one away. And Kitson made some space. And that was a good effort. He has got some pace and some talent, Paul Kitson. And he's a good finisher too. Bristol City made a present of that really to him. It was a misplaced pass by Mark Hazelwood, I think. And Kitson saw the opportunity to run at the defence and shoot from 25 yards. Llewellyn. Well, they're giving everything in the tackle, that's for sure, and the referee's a bit concerned about it. 1 or 2 people are diving in, which has got to be dangerous. But they're smiling about it out there at the moment. It's a free kick to Leicester City, and they're piling players forward for this. That's Walsh with the header on. Kitson's looking for it. Oh, look at this, it's Jakanovski and there's nobody there for Leicester. And it's Junior Bent with a chance. He's come inside his defender, and it's a goal to Bristol City. And Junior Bent puts them ahead. Made by Jakanovski, and superbly well taken. There was a huge hole in the middle of the Leicester defence. Even if you play three centre-backs, you sometimes leave a gap. Look at this, he's on his own. And although the defender on the far side gets across, look where Junior Bent is, and look how well Jakanovski found him. It just left Bent to come back inside, and then the cool finish. Leicester City 0, Bristol City 1, and 21-year-old Junior Bent gives the West Country side the lead after 26 minutes. Forward by May, and they've really found it hard to contain Bent on that side, Leicester. But here they come now with Kitson. Thompson's in support inside. Here's David Oldfield. Good shot, saved by Andy Leaning. Could have been the equaliser. Leaning did well. And now it's Jakanovski at the other end to Morgan. 11, Gavin. Jakanovski tries to put Gavin through again. Goal kick. A very exciting 5 minutes, that. David Oldfield could so easily have had the equaliser. It was played in to him on the edge of the area, and he set it up nicely, really, and Leaning, going to his left, well, he was leaning, but to some good purpose. Well, Leicester could do with an equaliser in the last couple of minutes of this first half. Here's Thompson for them. Smith. Oldfield. Osman. Good clearance. Jakanovski. That's superb play. Well, I don't know about the offside, but I tell you what, it was a wonderful piece of control and delivery towards Bent by the Polish player. Applause going all around the ground for that piece of skill. He just shook off the defender and played a ball. I don't know whether he was offside when it was played. It was very close. Well, we're now in stoppage time at the end of the first half. Forward by Wright, looking for Oldfield. Kitson's in the middle. Oldfield's turn. Mills turns it in. Oh, and there's a chance here, perhaps. Good header by Andy May. This is Steve Walsh into Oldfield. Thompson, challenged by Bent, fairly. Well, in fact, it was an excellent piece of defensive play by Junior Bent, and if the whistle hadn't gone for half-time, he would have put Bristol away on an attack which would have left Jakanovski absolutely clear, and that's really been the story of the first half. The Polish player has adapted to the conditions superbly, and he's been the best man on the pitch. Made the goal, and Bristol City lead 1-0 through Junior Bent. So Leicester start the second half a goal behind, but the Palace match went right to the 90th minute, and who knows what will happen here now. This is the man whose goal separates the teams, and he's got support again either side, but this is Thompson for Leicester. Number 3, Paul Reed. And now Smith. Walsh. Oldfield. He's foxed it. Kitson's in the middle waiting. Corner to Leicester. Jakanovski played another good ball there to Andy May. And that's looking for Bent, and he is so quick, you'd almost back him to get that. Support coming up behind him from Gavin. The two strikers waiting in the middle for Bristol City. Jakanowski, it's 2! It's 2-0! And they can't control this man. He's having a match all of his own, the Pole. And Leicester are struggling. They've no idea how to cope with him. And a wonderful ball out of defence, which Junior Bent made here, is only because of his pace. Knocked it back to Gavin, and here comes the cross. And quite where the marking is here, I'm not quite sure, but I know where Jakanowski is. Flicking it on over the stranded Muggleton. It's Leicester 0, Bristol City 2. It's Kitson with a chance. Great challenge by Osman. If they get one, Leicester, you could sense there'll be a tremendous climax to this cup tie, but they need the one. And they won't get it with corners like that, but here's Oldfield. Out to Tommy Wright. Here he is again. Deflection. Oh, and cleared. I think it was Osman again who got it away. Dramatic stuff in the 6-yard box by the former Leicester player. Oldfield. Wright. Kitson. Oh, it's not a particularly good ball by Osman. Wright returns it. Trouble here. Oh, and Ashley Ward. Good save by Leaning. It's Wright with the return cross. Can they pump it in again here? It was Ward whose header was clawed away, and the keeper's having a good day. Andy Leaning. This was one of Leicester's best attempts. Tommy Wright gets the cross in left foot. Ashley Ward's header is firm. What a good stop by Leaning there. Oldfield. Thompson. Mills. Oldfield. And Mills goes again. Kitson! They wouldn't stop him then. Good header, good goal by Leicester. And that one was well executed. Gary Mills, a very good cross from the right. And with just a couple of minutes left, Leicester give themselves new hope. And it's Junior Bent on the break with Jakanowski wanting it played square. In it goes now to Jakanowski. Gavin is supporting him here. Still Jakanowski. And the Pole is still playing on his own. And he sets up Hazelwood. Good save. Oh, and as he went for the rebound. Oh, they both slipped. Unbelievable stuff in there. It's back with Bent. The goalkeeper fell over, and so did Jakanowski. Where's the Leicester marking? Jakanowski. Gavin. And Wayne Allison on the far side tries to retrieve it, or does he? And there it is. Bristol City win only their second major away game of the season. In fact, they only won one in the league, but in the cup it's different. Junior Bent and Jakanowski, not just from another country, he looked to be from a different planet today. This was his match. It's Leicester City 1, Bristol City 2, and the West Country has a team in the 5th round, and a Polish player who's made the headlines.
Jakanowski up against Gemmell. Edwards to Shelton. To Edwards, Jakanowski! Crossley with a fine save.
With the 5th round draw bringing an away tie at Nottingham Forest, hopes were high that City could repeat the sort of battling performance that had earned them a 1-1 draw there in the semi-final of the League Cup 3 years previously. The visit, however, proved less memorable as City were comprehensively beaten 4-1. Jakanowski grabbed his second FA Cup goal in as many games, but it was no more than a consolation as City's FA Cup involvement was over for another season.
They'd been up against it all afternoon. Bent took the corner. The Forest defending wasn't up to the usual high standard. Crossley had it, he lost it, Allison couldn't. Jaganowski could. 3-1.
A crowd of nearly 21,000 packed into Ashton Gate for the visit of Liverpool in January 1994. The third-round draw had been very kind to City, and the majority of the large crowd was hoping to see them pull off a shock. Russell Osman decided to select the inexperienced Ian Brown in preference to Junior Bent, and also welcome back skipper Mark Shale, who'd missed the previous 7 games because of injury. Graham Souness, meanwhile, was without the injured Mark Wright, so Steve Nicol partnered Neil Ruddock at the centre of defence. Up front, Ian Rush was partnered by Robbie Fowler, who in his first season had already scored an incredible 15 goals in only 23 matches. With Liverpool 21 points behind leaders Manchester United in the Premiership and having been knocked out of the League Cup by Wimbledon, the FA Cup presented Liverpool with their only realistic chance of success that season. So it was encouraging for them and their supporters when they took a 12th-minute lead courtesy of Ian Rush. Some good play by John Barnes down the Liverpool right presented Rush with the easiest of chances. And from only 7 yards out, the prolific Welshman hasn't missed too many of those. Liverpool, aided by their early advantage, began to take control of the game. Barnes and Redknapp were proving to be a potent midfield combination, and it wasn't long before Rush was again testing Keith Welsh. City then had an amazing escape. Just before the half-hour mark, a routine clearance for Welsh so nearly gifted Robbie Fowler his 16th and most fortuitous goal of the season. Only the spin on the ball prevented City from going to 2-0 behind. City, however, managed to weather the early Liverpool pressure, and slowly they began to gather some self-belief. Whilst, as an attacking force, Liverpool was as exciting as any team in the country, defensively they had their frailties, and City would soon begin creating the chances to exploit those weaknesses. First, Wayne Allison will feel he could have done better when given a free header only 12 yards from goal. Not long after, Bruce Grobbelaar so nearly put himself and his side in trouble when electing to dribble the ball out rather than clearing first time. An excellent flick by Wayne Allison and further erratic goalkeeping by Grobbelaar then presented Robinson with City's best chance. A better struck shot would surely not have allowed Steve Nicol the time to clear off the line. Once again, Allison's aerial ability was causing all sorts of problems. On this occasion, out-jumping Ruddock to again put Liam Robinson in the clear. This time there was nothing lacking in the power of his shot, and City were denied by a good piece of goalkeeping when Grobbelaar turned his shot away for a corner. City, however, did not have to wait much longer before getting the equaliser that their first half display had so richly deserved. Rob Edwards set Martin Scott free, and the left-back's pinpoint cross was met by the head of Wayne Allison. The finish this time left Grobbelaar with absolutely no chance. After a nervy display in the opening 20 minutes, City had more than matched the Merseyside Giants and thoroughly deserved to go in at the break at 1-1. If the first half was action-packed, then the second half was memorable for one incident. With the game still perfectly poised at 1-1, the floodlights at Ashton Gate failed. Referee Martin Boddenham was forced to take the players back to the sanctuary of the dressing room in the hope that the problem could be rectified. Despite the best efforts of all concerned, he was eventually forced to abandon the game some 25 minutes later when it became increasingly obvious that the fault could not be repaired. Both sides will be back in 10 days' time to start the tie all over again. With the floodlights having been checked and double-checked, City and Liverpool prepared to meet each other again. Ian Rush and Wayne Allison, who had good reason to feel aggrieved more than most at the abandonment of the previous encounter, would again have a large say in events. Russell Osman made 2 changes, bringing in Andy Llewellyn and Junior Bent to replace Matt Bryant and Ian Brown. Liverpool made the 1 change, with McManaman being preferred to Bjornaby. It was the Premiership side who had the earlier chances. Julian Dix only just off target with a well-struck effort from 25 yards. Next, some neat play involving McManaman allowed Ian Rush to test Keith Welsh. At the other end, a perfect Brian Tinian pass sprang the Liverpool offside trap and left Bent with just Grobbelaar to beat. Not for the first time in his Bristol City career, the diminutive winger failed to find a finish. Just before the break, Bent once again found himself with only Grobbelaar to beat. Unfortunately, Bent was only too willing to show why he'd only scored 5 times for City in his 74 appearances. The second half began the same way as the first half had ended, with City firmly on top. A Tinian free kick produced a diving header from Edwards that was well saved. Edwards then turned provider, as his corner was superbly met by the head of Mark Shale, whose effort flashed just inches over. Some excellent build-up play between Scott, Allison and Martin then carved open the Liverpool defence. Liam Robinson's first touch forced him slightly wide of goal, and in the end his shot failed to trouble Grobbelaar. Allison was quick to point out that he thought his fellow striker had chosen the wrong option. City, though, paid the price for all those squandered chances when a Julian Dix free kick was met by Neil Ruddock. His header back across the face of goal gave Ian Rush the simplest of tasks to reclaim the goal he'd had wiped out 10 days before. City, however, refused to let their heads drop, and only 10 minutes later they were back on level terms. A Brian Tinian pass once again put Junior Bent in behind his marker. This time the Yorkshireman cut inside and squared the ball into the path of Robinson. He completely missed his kick, but the ball eventually fell invitingly to the feet of Allison, who, like Ian Rush, gratefully accepted the opportunity to recover the goal chalked off in the first game. The chance to take on Liverpool at Anfield was the very least that City had deserved for their efforts in the 2 matches at Ashton Gate. With thousands of supporters having made the trip north, City went into the replay at Anfield still firmly believing they could make it through to round 4 in a tie against Stockport County. Their confidence was further enhanced when Rob Edwards was allowed to shoot unmarked and should have at least got his effort on target. The scramble at the other end was as near as Liverpool came to scoring in the opening period. Then Grobbelaar so nearly gifted City the chance to take the lead. Not for the first time, the long-serving keeper strayed well outside of his penalty box, and via Edwards gave the ball to Liam Robinson. Despite his quick thinking, Robinson's effort drifted just beyond the bar. The second half began with the master poacher Ian Rush missing from only 2 yards out. Some neat football from City's midfield and allowed Junior Bent to burst through on goal. And Grobbelaar was very fortunate not to be sent off when he blatantly handled the ball outside of his area. Then, just after the midway point of the second half, came the moment that will remain long in the memory of all City fans. Wayne Allison shrugged off the attentions of Rob Jones and the ball fell to the trusty left foot of Tinian. His sweetly struck shot left Grobbelaar helpless and sent the City fans into raptures. With his goal came a trip to Edgeley Park to face Stockport, as well as a letter of resignation from Graham Souness only a few days later. Edgeley Park must have seemed a million miles from Anfield when City travelled there a fortnight later to take on Stockport in a delayed 4th round tie. City, however, turned in a highly polished performance to overcome the second division side 4-0. After skipper Mark Shale had given City a 1-0 half-time lead, there was only ever going to be one winner, and it was Wayne Allison who notched a second-half hat-trick to ensure City's smooth progress into round 5 and a home game against Charlton Athletic. A crowd of over 20,000 was at Ashton Gate to see if City could progress through to the quarter-finals of the FA Cup for the first time in 20 years. After the heroics of Anfield and the ease with which Stockport had been beaten, expectations were high. Those expectations were increased when Brian Tinian dispatched an unstoppable first-half free kick. In a game where scoring opportunities were at a premium, it looked as if Tinian's free kick was going to be enough to win the game. But with 15 minutes left, Scott Minto worked his way into the City area and his cross was met by a delighted John Robson for the equaliser. The trip to the Valley for the replay proved to be City's last in the 1994 FA Cup. A strangely lacklustre performance saw City lose 2-0, and it was Charlton who made the trip up to Old Trafford to face Manchester United in the quarter-final.